back to American Agenda. I'm Allison Maloney, along with Bob Sellers. And Dr. Anthony Fauci's trove of emails from the early days of the pandemic giving Republicans reason in their calls for Fauci's resignation, as well as new investigations into the origin of the coronavirus. So with the latest flip-flopping on topics like masks and gain of function, what do we believe? And do you think Fauci should or will step down? Let's bring back our panel of co-hosts. Melanie, I want to start with you because these emails coming out, and what's interesting to me is that a lot of the left media isn't really giving a lot of attention to it. Also, today in the press conference, Jen Psaki was not asked one question about this.
One of the things that I noticed today was that there is a lot of fact-checking going on about the Fauci emails, and they're saying, no, there were no lies in the Fauci emails, there were no mistruths, no inconsistencies. That's all wrong because it was fact-checked. Like everyone in the mainstream media seems to be clamoring to fact-check the conservative side's assertions that there were plenty of lies and misleadings in the Fauci emails. It's just amazing to me how quickly that they rally around their guy. I have trust issues with Dr. Fauci. I always have, and the emails didn't help. And I think Americans who are paying attention should also have some trust issues with Dr. Fauci and the things that he's been telling us publicly as opposed to what's being discussed in his emails.
Yeah, Ford, what do you think?
Look, Fauci handed Biden the White House, and they're never going to throw him under the bus. Let's recount what he did. He misled on the origins of COVID. He misled on gain-of-function research. He misled on the efficacies of masks. He misled on shutdowns. That's the most amazing thing. Actually, if you look through the emails, 3.7 million people died, and essentially we destroyed Western economies. He's the highest paid federal employee, and if he didn't help Biden win the election, he'd be out on his keister faster than we can finish this segment.
Steve, he also had time to write a book during COVID.
Oh, yeah, the guy thinks he's a rock star. Okay, I mean, this has gone to his head. I've never trusted him. Even before COVID-19, I never trusted Dr. Fauci, but I always knew he was lying. And most people with common sense that know that a lot of this was to scare everybody to death, to shut everything down, they knew he was lying. Rand Paul knows he was lying. And Rand Paul was correct on committee when he was questioning Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci isn't going anywhere because, again, we've got an agenda. We've got a culture that now rewards this type of behavior, and to hell with America. That's really, and I hate to say that, but it's true. And people are fed up. Why do you think there was so much applause with Donald Trump in North Carolina over the weekend? People are fed up more than they were in 2016. Believe me.
Yeah, Bob, I want to get your take on it because, you know, he was flip-flopping, right? We don't need to wear a mask. Well, we have to wear a mask. Maybe we need to wear 2 masks. And then, you know, some of those emails that came out, he said, according to the email, well, a regular mask like that you could buy in a drugstore may not be as effective. So, you know, it was all unknown. But again, it's trust and it's being authentic. And it's if you don't really know it, just, I think, tell Americans we're not sure right now. But here's what we suggest.
You know, somebody remind me what he does now. I'm not quite sure what he does. As far as I can tell, we're on the other side of this thing. As far as I can tell, we need to pick a date and say, the vaccines are out there if you want to get it. The treatments are out there. If you get sick, there are ways to deal with it. We need to go back to school. We need to go back traveling and doing all the things. I'd travel the whole time, but we need to get back to normal. You want to wear a mask? Wear a mask. If you don't, that's fine. So then, why do we need Dr. Fauci? We need him to follow up on how this started so it doesn't happen again. That should be his job right now. I don't understand why he's in the limelight so much because we've developed the vaccines. We're kind of beyond it. I'm just very perplexed by the fact that he still matters.
Well, he wrote a book. So now, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is good PR for him. Everyone's talking about him. For him, it is, because everyone's talking about him.
But he's a distraction also.
He absolutely is, and that's what a lot of people are saying. And Ford, right. Well, Ford, to Bob's point, is the fact that we need to figure out, was this really created in a lab? And how do we stop this from happening again? How do we make sure that we can keep Americans safe?
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Allison. Look, the whole key here is we need to get to the bottom of this, the origins. Obviously, the genetic footprint seems to suggest that it was made in the lab and that China covered it up, and as a result, it damaged the entire world. We need to go from soup to nuts so that this doesn't happen again, because believe me, this is not going to be the last man-made pandemic in our lifetimes, and we have to make sure that we don't jump the gun like we did during COVID. But remember, with Fauci, he became a useful tool to take out Trump. But once Trump was out of the equation, he became a useful tool for the Democrat socialist agenda because he ginned up so much fear. What was it, 3 weeks ago, he just said we're in the 6th inning, and now all of a sudden the White House press corps is at 100% capacity? This whole thing was a ruse to further the Democratic agenda, and most corporate media agreed with it because they agree with the Democrats. He is the best single weapon the Democrats have had in the last 40 years in terms of destroying America.
Yeah, it's only a 7-inning game, though. That's the good part.
Doubleheader, no UVA, though.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, everyone. Stand by. Coming up, you'll never guess what this psychiatrist lectured on at a Yale School of Medicine Child Study Center. We're going to be revealing that next when American Agenda continues after this.